In 1914, the world was confident. Europe was rich, powerful, and connected by trade, culture, and royal families. Many believed war was impossible, too costly, too destructive. But beneath the surface, nations were preparing for something massive. Alliances were forming, armies were growing, and tensions were rising quietly. This is the story of how the world walked into World War I without realizing it. At the start of the 20th century, Europe ruled the world. The British Empire stretched across continents. France controlled huge parts of Africa. Germany was rapidly industrializing and challenging Britain. Austria-Hungary ruled Central Europe, and Russia controlled vast territories in Eastern Europe and Asia. These empires competed for land, power, and influence. Colonies meant wealth, and wealth meant power. Every empire wanted more territory, and they feared losing what they already had. The Ottoman Empire, once powerful, was weakening. This created tension in the Balkans, where small nations wanted independence. This region would soon be called the powder keg of Europe. As nations competed, they began building massive armies and navies. This was called militarism. Germany built powerful battleships to challenge Britain's navy. Britain responded by building even bigger ships. Other countries followed. Every nation believed war was coming, so they prepared for it. Soldiers were trained, weapons factories expanded, and war plans were secretly created. Generals believed war would be quick and glorious. No one imagined it would become one of the deadliest conflicts in history. To protect themselves, countries formed alliances. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy formed the Triple Alliance. Britain, France, and Russia formed the Triple Entente. These alliances were meant to prevent war, but they did the opposite. If one country fought, its allies were required to join. This meant a small conflict could pull the entire world into war. And that is exactly what happened. People across Europe were extremely proud of their nations. This intense pride is called nationalism. In the Balkans, Slavic people wanted independence from Austria-Hungary. Serbia, a small but ambitious nation, dreamed of uniting all Slavic people into one country. Austria-Hungary feared this. If Serbia succeeded, the empire would fall apart. Meanwhile, Germany wanted to prove itself as a global superpower. Britain wanted to stay the strongest empire on Earth. France wanted revenge for land lost to Germany decades earlier. Every nation felt threatened. Every nation felt justified. Ironically, many leaders were related by blood. King George V of Britain, Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, and Tsar Nicholas II of Russia were cousins. But family ties did not stop rivalry. Kaiser Wilhelm II wanted Germany to be respected and feared. He dismissed cautious advisors and pushed aggressive policies. His actions increased tension with Britain and France. Europe was like a room full of powerful people holding weapons, each waiting for someone else to make the first move.
The Balkans were unstable. Serbia wanted independence and secretly supported groups that opposed Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary feared rebellion. Russia supported Serbia. Germany supported Austria-Hungary. One small event in this tense region could trigger a massive chain reaction. And in 1914, it did. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary traveled to Sarajevo. A young nationalist waited in the crowd. One gunshot would change the world forever. And within weeks, Europe was at war. Behind the scenes, world leaders were talking in secret. Diplomacy was complicated, and trust was rare. Germany feared being surrounded by enemies, France in the west and Russia in the east. This fear pushed Germany to support Austria-Hungary no matter what. Britain tried to stay neutral. But Germany's growing navy threatened British dominance at sea. France never forgot the loss of Alsace-Lorraine in 1871 and quietly prepared for revenge. Every country believed it was defending itself. But every action made others feel threatened. This created a dangerous cycle. Fear led to preparation. Preparation led to suspicion. Suspicion led to conflict. The early 1900s were a time of rapid technological change. Factories produced weapons faster than ever. Railroads allowed armies to mobilize quickly. Telegraphs allowed generals to communicate instantly. Military planners believed technology would make war short and decisive. They were wrong. Instead, technology would make war longer, deadlier, and more destructive than any conflict before. But in 1914, no one understood what modern war truly meant. Newspapers and magazines fueled nationalism. Headlines praised military strength and mocked rival nations. People believed war would be exciting and heroic. Young men dreamed of becoming soldiers. Crowds cheered armies during parades. Few understood the horrors that awaited them in trenches, mud, and gas-filled battlefields. War was seen as a test of honor, not a catastrophe. Before World War I, the Balkans had already seen violence. In 1912 and 1913, the Balkan Wars broke out. Serbia, Greece, and Bulgaria fought the Ottoman Empire and each other for territory. These wars proved how unstable the region was. Serbia became stronger and more confident. Austria-Hungary became more afraid. Europe watched but did not act. The warning signs were clear, but ignored.
Industrial competition increased tension. Germany's factories challenged Britain's industries. Nations competed for markets, resources, and trade routes. Colonies in Africa and Asia were valuable for raw materials and prestige. Countries argued over borders, trade rights, and influence. Economic rivalry turned into political rivalry. Political rivalry turned into military rivalry. The world was becoming divided into two hostile camps. Spies operated across Europe. Governments collected secrets about armies, weapons, and plans. Every nation suspected others of plotting war. Every nation was plotting for war. The atmosphere was tense, paranoid, and unstable. Europe was a chessboard, and every move could trigger disaster. Despite all the tension, people believed peace would continue. Trade between nations was strong. Tourists traveled across Europe. Artists, writers, and scientists flourished. This period was called the Belle Époque, a beautiful age of progress and optimism. But peace was fragile. It existed only on the surface. Underneath, the world was preparing for war.